Shout out to US Arc and all US Arc members. If you don't know what US Arc is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US Arc is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US Arc member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US Arc organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US Arc member. And if you can't become a US Arc member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US Arc is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US Arc member and US Arc supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world, episode 691. Happy Tinley Week. I have brought you a special banger of an episode. With me, the one and only Elijah Armas tonight, the Blood Python King. You guys are in for a treat, especially this Tinley veteran right here that we're going to be talking to tonight. Man, nobody better, I feel like, on a Tinley Week. But what is good? I'm your boy, MJ. How's everyone doing out there? I'm excited because by this time, while you're watching this premiere, I'm already going to be in Chicago at Tinley, ready for this weekend. Tinley weekend, biggest reptile show of the year. The Super Bowl of reptile shows happening this weekend. So I do want to say, first and foremost, this episode tonight is brought to you by NARBC Tinley, happening this weekend. I will be live and direct from the hotel lobby that's connected to Tinley Park Convention Center. So make sure you make it a point, if you are in the area Friday nights by the bar in the lobby, come by and say hi to me and Dave Levison Jr. from JMG Reptiles, and many, many other heavy hitters will be sitting down with us live and direct at Tinley. Cannot wait. This is quite the iconic thing that I do every time I come to Tinley. I go live. For anyone who wonders what the vibe's like, this is a good episode to watch. So again, tonight's episode is brought to you by the NARBC show happening this weekend. Okay, so let me know if you are going to be going to the show. Drop a comment in the comment section. Give me some feedback as far as what you think about NARBC Tinleys and everything. But I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. And yeah, I got a lot of stuff happening right here. It is the middle of the day, so that's why you see all the lights on. Normally, you guys know when I go live, all the lights are off. They usually go live at night. But right now, pre-recorded mid-afternoon, because I'm going to be flying out, like I said. And yeah, I'm excited. So Elijah Armas, Juggernaut Reptiles, been on the show a couple times, but not an easy guy to get on a podcast. I'll tell you that right now. He has made some next level world first stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight on the show, and other amazing project that this guy's been very passionate about. So anyone who's been a part of the reptile hobby knows the name Juggernaut Reptiles. Elijah is definitely one of the OGs, man. And in my opinion, when it comes to blood pythons, I think he's a king, dude. So you guys be the judge on your own. I for sure want to say shout out to Elijah because Juggernaut Reptiles is a sponsor of the Trap Talk Reptile Network. So please, guys, make sure you go give him a follow on Instagram, and also go check out Elijah's work on his YouTube channel. So shout out to him and his wife. Okay, OGs in the game, man, and been dedicated to their craft for years now. So some of the best work coming out of Juggernaut Reptiles in the hobby for sure. So go check them out. Again, IG, find all the links in the description below. And again, I'm looking forward to linking up with Elijah this weekend at Tinley, because he's no stranger to a Tinley Park, party. I'll tell you that much. So you guys are in for a treat. I don't want to waste no more time. Again, you guys want to check out all my sponsors, make sure you go down in the description below. Shout out to people in the chats. You guys are beautiful. And again, let me know in the comments if you're at Tinley this weekend. Let's link up. This will be the last Tinley I go to for a while. I got a lot of crazy life-changing events happening very soon for me. All right, do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. This is episode 691, the one and only Elijah Armas of Juggernaut Reptiles, the Blood Python King, coming at you right now. Let's go. Choo!
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap
Yes.
Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man,
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Tell us.
exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Club the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the club the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the club the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the club the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
all right. Episode 691. Welcome back, Elijah Armas from Juggernaut Reptiles. What's up, my man?
Yo, what's going on?
Good to have you back.
We're good.
I love having you here because I don't see you on other podcasts, so it's like a special deal whenever I have you back. Just so you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
How you living though, man? How's everything going?
Everything's going good.
Obviously you're no stranger to a big weekend that's approaching us here. Tinley Park, right around the corner. We're with the week of Tinley. How do you feel about everything you've done this year going into Tinley Park? Being that one of your backyard shows in a sense.
It's been a pretty killer year for us, like usual. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about some of the bigger and biggest things that you've accomplished this year. I think last time I was at your table, you had at least one world's first that you were showing me. I don't know how much more you've done since March Tinley, but let's kind of get into like some of the groundbreaking stuff you made this year.
Oh man, this year. So with the blood pythons, I made one animal I named Apocalypse. Pretty insane looking animal. What else?
And that's this one right here, right? I'm assuming that I have this one correct.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, damn. And can you explain what's all going into this snake right here, Elijah? Or because I know you've been at this for a while, dude, and this isn't something that's just created overnight. So can you explain everything that went into this project and how this even came about?
Yeah, so you got a couple genes in there. You got the Druid gene. That's the main gene right there, making it that light in coloration.
Druid, okay.
That's the incomplete dominant, with the super being the the leucistic.
Right.
That gains some coloration as like some gray pattern coloration as it ages. But that animal is basically a Druid, ivory, golden eye, batik.
Damn. Okay. And I think you made, or you had a big adult Druid, I believe, at Tinley Park in March. Was that big white female you had?
Um,
Am I not thinking the right one? Does that have blue eyes?
They got like blue silver eyes, yeah. So I might have had like a sub-adult. None of mine are full adults yet.
And who has this stuff? Is it just you, or I mean, like, who all is producing something like at that capacity with all those genetics in it?
So I originated the Druid gene. It originated over here, but so far I got a buddy Richard at 616 Reptiles. He's working the project really hard. As far as the supers, until this season, there was only 3 ever produced. I held back 3. I did let 1 go. So 1 went out to a buddy of mine up in Florida. And I produced another 3 this year that I think might have the batik and matrix gene in them. Because when they came out, you could kind of see like a heavy, like a pattern in the white that made me think they're going to have like the batik. But with those animals, what's crazy about them is when they hatch, they're pink when they hatch. Within like the first week or two, you could see some pattern, but after that, they kind of go back to being pretty white.
Yeah.
statistics, and I gotta wait for them to start having like get to a second shed before the pattern really starts to come out. And after that, you really start to see a lot of pattern come out throughout the years.
So I'm sure there's been quite a buzz after putting these out that you've made these, right? Are people kind of on your bumper wondering like when are you going to release them, or what's the deal with this project being out to the public?
Yeah, I mean, I've been releasing the Druid stuff now several years or so it's been out there. A few people working with it, but for like that clutch there, that animal staying here, pretty much that entire clutch is staying here from that one because I think that clutch also showed out that it has another gene called Sunder in it. So I got to hold back a lot of animals from that clutch, basically.
What year did you make the Druid?
Oh man, the first year, man, you're taking me back. I'm trying to think now. Well, actually, I got one female left right now from the first clutch. So we're looking at, where is she? 2019.
Wow.
Is when I proved it out from a wild caught animal.
So that's how you got it, out of a wild caught animal.
Yeah, it was a wild caught. It came from Bushmaster, Cam at Bushmaster. Went to someone else first. That guy got it in, and they had labeled it Toba, which is another mutation that's BPI works with. But you know, throughout the years of breeding it, I kept being told from Chris at Giant Keeper Reptiles, and basically he was talking to Tracy Barker from BPI, and they were both saying basically that the animal's not Toba and that it's a different animal. So after we got like several of the same combinations from, you know, Toba combinations versus the Druid combinations, that's when I decided to rename it.
Now, I'm curious, like how you knew you had something. Like what was it that stood out to you, Elijah? Like obviously you've looked at a lot of these clutches before, but you weren't expecting to see what came out. Is that what it was, or
you talking about from that original wild caught?
The Druid? Yeah, I'm talking about you know, how did you know you had something like the Druid? You know what I mean? Like what, you know, as far as
well, the original wild caught looked similar to the Toba gene. This animal came in was really dark. Pixelations around it. It looked, you know, you could tell it was something different than anything out there, but it looked very similar to Toba's, just kind of like, I would say a little muddier, not as nice as some of the Tobas I was seeing, which really isn't many any at the time. I think there was only like 2 or 3 maybe. But you know, you could tell it was something. So I bred him that season to a T+ albino, and you know, half the babies came out with his look, but his babies went on to look better, like cleaner and lighter than what he was, you know. And from there, you could kind of see that the animals were very different than the original Toba stuff.
And not that you need to, but like, did you include other people like to confirm what you're looking at was like what you thought it was? Like, did you reach out to maybe a couple close homies, or just maybe people that you like you value their input, you know, type of thing?
I might have, when I started producing some other combos afterwards, I think I showed Keith McPeak, was probably one of the only people I was showing, and
right.
Yeah, Chris at Giant Keeper was pretty much the one that was on me about it. You know, anytime I would hatch something new, he'd hit me up like, yo, that's not, you know, it's not Toba. The animals are way different looking from some of the combinations he had that had Toba in it, you know. So yeah, pretty much Chris was really on me with you know, telling me it wasn't, and he was going back and forth all the time with Tracy.
So from 2019, making that snake, holding it back, it led to this. These are their babies.
Actually 2019 I hashed that one out. Yeah. So let me see that. I can't even see, tell you the truth. This thing is so small.
Oh shit. Let me see.
I'm talking about my screen. I got you there. I got you a little bigger here. What clutch is that one? Is that the one from the Apocalypse?
This says
No, I think that's different.
Magpie Sunder het T+ to T+ Batrix.
Magpie Sunder. Yeah, no. So that clutch isn't the same clutch the Apocalypse came from. That one came from a Magpie I picked up from Nick at Cold Blooded Earth. It was supposed to be Sunder. He produced 2 clutches and those Sunders came out, so we're pretty sure that he wasn't carrying the Sunder gene. So there's nothing really crazy in that clutch.
But this has nothing to do with Druid stuff at all. This is not.
No, that was not it.
Okay.
It would be an older clutch, like an earlier clutch in that same year than that one. Where you'll see that Druid clutch is insane though.
Right. This is some of the stuff we just looked at, right? The Apocalypse, Blood
Yeah,
Python.
that's the Apocalypse.
Okay. And so with that, now that you're this solidified into this project, like what's the goal, bro? Like where do you take something like this, Elijah, in your head? Like where do you want to take something like this?
So for this season, I did produce Druid's Het Pies.
Wow.
So yeah, that's one way I'm going.
And
I'm also working on. Like I said, I also produce 3 more supers. I'm hoping that as they age, any of them that do have the petite gene in it, it's gonna come out. So I'm hoping we see something like almost like a white gray petite animal. See if we could get, because I think the supers act where the original pattern under the snakes is showing through. It's coming through as the animals are aging. So
right.
I think with certain heavy pattern mutations, you could probably get that to start showing, even though the animal is like leucistic. So you can see that one right there. That's one from today. And then I got an older one there that has all the gray in it. I think it's a video though.
Wow. Okay. So you've obviously been pretty concreted into the pied game now with the Bloods. Like, are you seeing mostly the same level of pied markings? Like, ball pythons, there's high, mids, and lows. Is that the same with Bloods? Are there high white blood pieds? Are there lows and mids? Or is it almost
so far it's mostly mid, and then I think I got like one animal that might be a little low, but that's it. I haven't seen nothing like super high, nothing like 80, 90%, nothing like that. It seems mid level is where it's really at with the pied so far.
And when it comes to hets, there's markers on ball pythons. Are there some sort of markers on these blood pythons when it comes to the 100% hets that you're noticing? Like anything noticeable, like ringers or anything like that?
The only thing I've noticed with them, a lot of the animals seem to have like striping to them. So I don't know, and they're a little darker. So there seems to be like some stripe trait that's coming out of the pieds. But that's about it right now. Nothing crazy.
So the goal is to get these to go together.
Yeah, that's one way. That's one thing I'm gonna do. Also, I want to really do T-neg supers, because I think if I get a T-neg, that'll create a permanently all white blood python with red eyes.
Right. Dude, that'd be epic.
Yeah.
Let's get into the market talk, man. I mean, obviously you're on the forefront of all this stuff that we're getting into, but how do you feel like the market's at right now, currently in the blood python, short tail python game?
It's slow, similar to like the ball pythons. I still do well enough, but it's not like it was. So similar.
Do you feel like what always kind of keeps you, I guess, grounded into this game is your repeat customer base? I feel like you have a lot of people that always do repeat business with you.
Yeah.
Do you think that's helped you a lot?
Yeah, that's definitely one good way. Yeah, it's definitely repeat buyers. The expos, Tinley, like I think this season I posted maybe 2 or 3 animals from this season, and I basically held on to everything because I'm bringing everything to the show this weekend.
And what do you think helps you kind of stand apart from the competition? Obviously, other than your productions, but like I feel like anybody could come in nowadays, dude, and make themselves look and paint themselves look like they got shit going on, and even like buy stuff and flip it. I'm just curious, like what are you doing to make sure that you're standing out the way you've been standing out?
I don't know. Probably just I've been in it a long time now, basically.
Yeah.
So that's one thing with blood pythons, like breeders. People that are getting into it, especially if they're spending pretty high investment wise, they really want to go to someone that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So that's one way. And then obviously producing like next level stuff, because I'm producing stuff now like that Apocalypse animal right there. That thing, you don't got a monsoon ball python that can even touch it. You know what I'm saying? Like at all, period.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff like that right now with the heavy pattern like that. That's just insane. Animals that turn crazy red with all those black spots and stuff like that too. So
yeah,
doing stuff like that, keeps you up there.
And if anyone isn't up to par, Elijah's been into the ball python game as well. So he's definitely speaking from like a ball python breeding standard as well. Like, you got some people who say what you just said, but they don't really have worked with ball pythons, but you have, and you've made some crazy fucking looking shit.
Yeah, half my collection is still ball pythons, so I still work with them.
Yeah. And okay, now let me ask you, why have you always kept the ball pythons a part of the game plan that you have going on? Because obviously you're known for blood pythons, and I mean, depending how long someone's been following you, like myself, I know you with ball pythons, anacondas, a bunch of shit. But like, why have you always held on to the ball pythons?
I just enjoy breeding them too. I like making the, those combos, seeing them hatch.
Yeah.
Things you had planned. I mean, they're the first ones I got into for breeding. So
right. Kind of your foundation from the chapter 1 stage, right? Like it's kind of
that's what got me into breeding. Was like literally, I picked up a book. It was a ball python book, I think, or something like that, morph book. And the first thing I seen was a caramel albino clown, and then that was it.
Yeah. And so why don't you remind us, when did you start dabbling into other species? Like how long ago back were you like thinking like, dude, I want to work with more than just one species, like, because it all grows from at a certain point. I'm wondering what that point was for you.
Oh man, so even from young, before I found out about expos, I was keeping like all types. Everything I could get from a pet land, I was willing to keep, as long as it was a reptile.
From where?
I didn't care. Like pet land. So in New York City, we had pet lands.
Pet lands.
Okay. Yeah.
Damn.
So that was what we had back then.
Yeah, you hear stories about motherfuckers having tigers in apartment buildings and shit like that. And
yeah, the dude that had the tiger and the gator. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, he probably wasn't the only one doing some crazy shit like that. Like I feel like you heard about some wild animal shit going on in the fucking concrete jungle. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It's, I guess, especially back in the day, right? If we're talking like the 90s and shit like that, none of that was really regulated to the point it was now, right?
Nah, yeah. But New York back then, they really started cracking down hard on stuff though. So even from young, I think, man, over 30 years ago, they had banned like ball pythons from the city,
Yeah.
So
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, they got on it pretty fast. I think everything you were allowed was like colubrids,
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what though, I know retics are not allowed to be kept in New York City, but if you go down there, you'll see motherfuckers rocking them.
Oh yeah, retics, berms, boas, yeah.
They and cops I don't even think they even give a shit, to be honest. They don't really know.
Like, I mean, if they're in blue, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, someone's gotta snitch on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have like a neighbor or some dickhead, that doesn't like you, or ex-girlfriend that just wants to fuck up your shit,
Basically.
Other than that, like, you could, like, these dudes will walk around the beach, Coney Island with the snakes, getting pictures, making a couple $1,000s off of pictures. And they be cops walking right by. The cops will jump in to get a picture, So yeah,
it's crazy.
Like that's got to be like a different department type of thing.
How many ball python clutches do you even do nowadays? Like, where you at with that?
This season, man, I don't keep track at all with the clutches really. I want to say it's got to be over 20 clutches this season.
I think that's a good number. So is that less than you normally do, or is that about always
done? That's about, I give it take 20, 30 clutches, something like that.
Okay. Damn. Okay. And so what has always worked for you as far as selling babies, especially right now, market, how saturated things are, but not everyone's hurting the same. But so I'm just wondering, like, how you've been keeping up selling stock, So
for the ball pythons?
Yeah, ball pythons, yeah.
I take like same thing, expos with them, and I've been throwing a bunch of them up on auction too.
Yeah. So the auction,
it's not super high, it's like super next level. Something that's super next level is gonna go up on auction.
Right. No, of course. And auction's been coming through for you, on the positive side, you would say?
Yeah, the auctions, I really well on the auctions with the ball pythons.
For sure, 100%. I have to agree. How many shows are you vending a year? Not many, right?
Nah, I cut back. I'm just doing Tinley now. I'm doing the White Plains Reptile Expo in New York, and then we got one expo that's literally right over here, like 40 minutes away. That comes around twice a year. I might do it once a year though, because sometimes it comes around the same time as Tinley.
Yeah, and what is your busiest time of year, as far as like babies hatching and all that shit?
Oh, that's throughout the summer.
Throughout the summer, okay.
Yeah.
So you're winding down right now. You're finally coming off of everything as of now, but now
my last clutch was early summer. So
Oh, got you.
I was
Okay.
I was getting clutches from, I would say, from March through early summer, and that was the end of the season.
And are you mostly seasonal? Like is there a time of year you're not breeding, everything's shut off, and then there's a time of year everything is breeding, or do you pair all year round? You don't give a shit.
No, I see seasonal. So I
Okay,
start pairing now.
cool. And then as far as like the food intake, does all that you food cycle your collection as well? Okay, and can we talk about how you do that?
Which species?
Okay, let's talk about the bloods. I'm wondering if you food cycle the bloods at all.
So with my breeder adults, because I like keeping them on the small side, it's pretty steady with them. Like it's literally like one feeding every 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes, small meals, nothing crazy. And that's throughout most of the year. If they're like breeder size and they got the weight on them. And then I would say around January is when I start to increase the feeding. So that's when I'll start like feeding weekly or multiple meals here and there, a little heavier, and that'll actually push them into like an ovulation.
What are we talking as far as meal size when it comes to offering them more meals? Like what do you how big of a bump in the size are you going?
I'm not really going um bumps in the sizes. I'm just going more frequent, yeah, with the meals. So like I'll do, instead of doing the one large rat for a female every 3 weeks, she'll probably get it once every week, every 2 weeks straight. Sometimes I might just do 2 medium rats and one feeding a week or two, something like that.
And from what I'm learning, Elijah, like once you get dialed in and you do this at the perfect timing, it's only a couple feedings where you're giving them more meals. Like it's not a long time where you're bumping up their meals, right? Because
No, it's like literally January, that month, January, maybe into February, but by then I'll start seeing like ovulations, and once they have the ovulation, that's it.
wow. Okay. And I'm curious with the bloods, like, is it just like balls, like where they ovulate and then about 30 days or so they'll shed, and then about 30 days after that they'll lay the clutch? It's
It's the same, pretty much the same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the clutch, the eggs are much bigger, correct?
Yeah, they're much bigger.
And how many eggs is your average size clutch?
I'm gonna say like 12 eggs, might be average. I usually get between 10 and 15 eggs.
Dude, that's double what a ball python average is. I think ball python average is 7, I think, or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, holy shit. Wow. Now would you say establishing ball python, or excuse me, establishing blood pythons are just as easy for you with ball pythons, like same shit? Or
Yeah, it's about the same.
I've heard people struggle years back, with getting them to eat and stuff like that. Like I remember there were some tricks of keeping them over water or something like that. Is that's not really the case?
Keep them hydrated? Yeah, I've never done that. That's kind of like I know Keith McPhee and a lot of older dudes used to do that, but I tried it real early. I found out that was like really messy.
Right.
It was like you have to like really stay on top because they pee a lot, especially as babies. They're more messy.
Yeah, that's an everyday chore.
Yeah, I might have did that shit for like, I don't even think a month before I gave up on that bullshit. So I keep them like just straight regular. Put them on bedding. Put a water bowl in there large enough for them to soak in. Maybe a hide, and that's it.
Yeah. And so with your females, they could breed year after year. Like they bounce back pretty easily, just as good as a ball python can.
Dude, they'll put on the weight immediately. That's not a problem. But they don't breed like ball pythons, so you might get like a second season in a row with a female. But a lot of times they'll skip the season, so you're not gonna get 5, 6 straight years of clutches like you can with ball pythons.
And do you think there's definitely like a way to feed these to where, because where I feel like if you're not feeding any species correctly, you probably won't get a good looking clutch or a clutch at all. I mean, you feel like these females could be fed overly to the point where they're not giving you good clutches or won't even breed?
Yeah, if you get them obese, you can get like slug outs and stuff like that.
Damn. And, obviously okay. Now going back to my question a while back, asking you when you started getting into other species, what year was it when you got your first blood?
It had to be literally very beginning, 2012.
Wow.
The same, basically, as soon as I started with the ball pythons, I found the bloods.
And back in 2012, like what kind of blood pythons were available? Was it all imports, or were some people breeding them back then still, or what was going on with the blood python back then?
Yeah, you had people breed them. You know, yeah, Keith McPete was still breeding. But the same year I was getting into them, he was getting out of them. Like he was literally done. I think he literally had like one clutch left incubating, and I was able to get 2 animals from that clutch. So you had the Barkers. They were probably at the forefront of it all. Who else? Cam at Bushmaster was always bringing in bloods, wild caught animals, as well as animals. I guess he was picking up from a partner of his.
Right.
You had bloodpythons.com, which is Carol Norris with the line bred stuff. So you had a few breeders at the time.
And I'm curious, like, obviously everyone has some sort of reason behind what they do. What made you know for sure you wanted to breed blood pythons? I feel like that it takes a unique person to want to be down for such a species, especially when you know how it is when you don't know what blood pythons are like, and especially if you ain't keeping them right, they're gonna light you up, and then there's you learn a lot, like you fucking learn a lot about them. But like when did you know for sure you wanted to do this?
Gonna say 2013 to 14, something like that, because I was already heavy with a pretty good little collection of the ball pythons. Started breeding those. Was real successful early on with that. And then with the bloods, I was looking up something. I forgot what it was. It might have been I think Ben Siegel. Yeah, I think Ben Siegel was the breeder or something. I think he had a site at the time. And that's why I seen the first teen egg albino. So when I seen that, I kind of just went crazy. Once I saw that animal, I was like, this is an albino, but it's red. I was like it was insane. Versus anything you didn't, even today, you don't see nothing like that in ball pythons, really. You know what I'm saying? Even these animals being called red, where they're just fucking brown, different shades of brown and oranges, they're not really red. So that's when I kind of just started going into looking up the morphs and getting into the morphs and stuff.
I mean, I would have to agree. There's nothing in the fucking game period that looks like this. You know what I mean? And this is just this is one example. Like because like I said, you've been doing this at it for a while, and I remember seeing something where you're holding one right here. This is it right here, dude. What the fuck? This is nuts right here. Is this an adult?
Yeah, that's an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't see these colors on any other snake. These are very
And then that thing there looked worse than when he hatched. He was almost more like a whitish snake,
right?
Like almost no color in him.
What do you call this project?
This one I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure out. This season I'm breeding her, but she came from my high white teen egg girl that I've been calling the ultra teen egg. So I'm gonna see what happens with that. Originally, I thought it was gonna be I thought the ultra girl was gonna be like the super version, and then this girl here was gonna be like the first visual.
Yeah.
But I bred that girl again, the mother to that one, and I did produce a baby that looked just like mom. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that one, but I got 3 unique looking teen eggs from that animal. So.
And this is a different project right here. We're talking something different when it comes to this snake right here.
Yeah, this one I picked up as a lavender albino from a buddy of mine's.
Wow.
He's still young, so that thing's in 2 years. Go back to it, it's gonna be a completely different looking snake.
What do you think?
But,
what do you say? What do you mean different in 2 years? What if you could give us an idea what this would be looking like in 2 years? What would that be?
He's probably gonna be red. I'm talking redder than that last animal you showed, that adult.
So like how his head is right there, it's gonna majority be covered like that. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but his head is gonna be even redder than that, because that thing is just a year old and it's only had a few sheds because he got off to a bad start with eating. So he's gonna be in 2 years. He's gonna be insane looking.
I mean, you know how insane the chondros OCC can get. These things, from what it sounds like, they have like a OCC themselves in a sense, right? Like they look better with age, from what you're saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. They color off for like the first 4 years. You kind of hit the peak at year 3, but that additional year, you'll kind of look back. You know, you look back at a year 3 pick and then a year 4, and you're like, okay, there was a difference that hit in that year too. So
yeah. What's the deal with this right here?
that's the pale gray project, recessive. I think it's kind of like a hypo type animal.
How many different hypo type animals are there in blood pythons from what you know so far?
So far, that's the only proven one. You know, I don't know. They named it pale gray. I feel like it's hypo or a type of line of hypo because it lacks all the black. You know, like literally the bloods usually they have a black head a lot of times. You see the tail is usually black spots. All that animal on that is gray. It's been producing goldeneye, and it did the same thing to the goldeneye as well.
I'm glad you brought up the blacks. I'm going to pull that up because you definitely, you know, one of the things that drew me to everything that you've done is your work behind the black bloods. You know, like some of the blackest fucking bloods I've ever seen for sure came out of your projects. Where's this project at now? Like where are you at with the black short tails? Like where's this project?
So that animal is actually my first, second short tail, I think, or third.
Ever.
Yeah, that girl's really old. She is, I'm going to say a 2012 as well animal.
She's still around? She's still kicking, huh?
Yeah, she's the oldest animal I got right now in the short tails. Wow. And she's actually in blue there too in shed. So, but I'm line breeding them. So I got another line of them. That girl I don't breed. I've had her pretty much retired for a while. I might breed her eventually again. But I got an animal that's far blacker that I've been line breeding. So that I will actually be posting the other girl tomorrow. And that's the girl I think you had gotten 2 babies from at one time. Right. Yep. Yeah. So I'll be posting her and the clutch she produced this year, which is I haven't said that until now because every time I show her, it's just insane the amount of messages I get, and I wanted to save the clutch to bring the entire clutch to Tinley. Wow. Yeah. So I'm going to post her tomorrow and her clutch as well.
Have any of your productions ever gotten to the point where you see the black and gray in this snake, but have you ever gotten any of them to get pitch black?
That other girl's almost basically pitch black, but the one that you see that's showing the gray there, that's only because she's that's the other girl I was talking about.
Wow.
She's in bed.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. This is so insane right here, bro. Look at that.
Yeah, so she's coming. Her clutch is coming with me to Tinley. So
how many babies?
What she gave me? I think she gave me 17. I should be bringing like a dozen or so with me.
Dang. All right, dude. That's
something like that.
Anyone going to Tinley this weekend?
Yeah, like dude. one whole display case is probably gonna be all her babies. And then if all goes well, as long as she doesn't go in the shed from here till then, she's gonna be coming with me too.
Yeah, now that I remember, bro, you brought that Druid girl after she laid that clutch in March. Like not short, like it was shortly after she laid it. She looked humongous already. I was like, holy shit. You're like, yeah, man, they bounced back really quick. Now that I remember mentioning that before. Dude, wow, that's awesome. So with that being said, how many blood python clutches are you shooting for a year now? Like what's your goal in 2026?
Right now, I can tell you, look right in the back. I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 6, 10.
Oh shit.
I don't know, probably like 14 clutches this year.
I don't know why my camera's frozen. Hold on. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, let me fix this real quick. I don't know why it froze. All right, say that again. How many clutches? I'm sorry, Elijah. What'd you say?
Probably going to be about 14.
And again, is that a number you want to stick to? Is that like your happy number? You would say the happy medium place you want to be at with that?
It's not really about, for me, it's not really about what you call it, like wanting to hit like a certain production of clutches. It's more about if I can get like that next level animal out of the clutch. So like this past season, it was like close to like 20 clutches. But now this season coming up, it's like I got other girls I could breed. I got a lot more girls I could breed. But they're not going to add anything right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get like that one animal I want to get that's like the next level thing. I like to get something. Every clutch I produce is like gonna be a holdback as well as it's something that hasn't been produced yet.
So if I got this, if I got this correct here, you're looking to make the most badass blood python you could possibly make. I feel like that's your goal every year.
Yeah.
But like, how much of the stuff is it that you need to make that you need to sell? And because you're a full-time keeper, you do this for a living, right?
Yeah.
So how much of the stuff are you producing that's mainly for sell to the public?
I mean, like if I hit that one animal, that's my holdback from the clutch.
Right.
So the rest of the clutch is pretty much good to go.
So,
Unless it's like say for instance, like the Druid clutch I hit this year, which is their het for pied, right?
yeah.
I'm holding back 2.2. Like that's something I do when it comes to like a big project like that. Is I'm going to hold back a nice little group, make sure I have backups, and stuff like that for the future.
But that's not the case with every clutch. Like some clutches, you just want that one or two insane banger of the clutch, and the rest they could go.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like people who get themselves in the right projects, they can rely on that. Like they can rely on, for instance, like going for what they want to hit, and they hold back what they want, and the rest could go to whoever it is that's interested in that project. But I feel like you've done a good job, like getting people interested and keeping people like basically tapped into what you have going on, even in just such a small market like the blood python game.
Yeah.
What would you have to give advice for anyone out there who's like, because right now, as you can tell, Elijah, obviously there's a lot of changes right now in the market. Like you see a lot of people like not making the money they thought they were going to make in ball python, so they want to get into other species. I think that's normal regardless of the market. I feel like that happens, right? Like that's natural for people to start working with one species, get into the other. How many people have been reaching out to you getting into the ball python? Getting into the blood game this year? Has it been increasing as far as the interest in 2025, or is it still kind of stagnant? Like where do you think things are growing?
Every year there's more interest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would say this season, well, like it's hard for me to say because I haven't posted my stuff from this season. You know what I'm saying? But there's some stuff that that's just sitting there for a little while from last season for sure. But I don't know. Pretty much, it's pretty similar to the ball pythons right now. A lot of people, they want to see like the new stuff.
Right. And so if we're talking about new stuff, other than the Druid stuff we've been talking about and the pied stuff, what else is like on the cutting edge forefront of all the blood python projects? Anything we haven't talked about yet?
So like you seen with what you call it, the pale gray, that's a project that I want to try to push. What else? I do have legitimate Toba now in the collection. So if all goes well, I might have a clutch of Tobas. Hopefully some new combos that haven't been producing. That's a project that's been around a long time and rarely worked with. Same thing with the what was it? The pale gray, stuff like that. There's the lavender project. I have two other projects here. One's called the Mega project. I think a second animal might have the similar gene in there. So I'm trying to prove that out. My ultra T-neck girl, high white T-neck girl. And we'll see what else. But I got some other stuff too.
Is it Toga or Toba?
Toba.
So this Toba project that you just mentioned, is it known to be an incomplete dominant or recessive?
Incomplete.
So how are you going to work that in? If that's something you're going to sought after, you don't plan on putting it into everything, right? Like you're going to be careful with it to see how it works, or like
well,
how do you?
I only have two females. One is way too young, and the other female is a adult breeder. She's a T plus Toba. So she's breeding. So I decided to put a T-neg albino pixel to her. So because I don't want to produce a whole bunch of visual T plus Toba stuff. I want to try to get like Toba combos without visual T plus or T-neg, but be 100% double het for both T plus and T-neg albino. So I do need from that. I definitely need a male. I'm hoping on I hit anything Toba that's a male, so I can put it back because we haven't seen the super version yet.
So there's definitely a whole deep thought going into the pairing. Like you're making sure whatever it is that this next stepping stone is, it's something that matters as far as what the end result is, whatever it is, if there is an end result. But like this is something definitely you put a lot of thought into.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had to actually go back because I didn't have the right male or any male I really wanted to put to her. And I actually had to reach out to a customer of mine and rebuy the T-neck pixel from him, like 3 years later or something. You know, so.
Was there any project you worked with that just was, I guess, a bust? Like just you ended up like, nah, I'm not going that route.
With the Bloods?
Yeah, with the Bloods.
Let me see.
So I know you've dabbled in a lot of shit. So I wonder if there's anything that you've paired up and you're like, no, I'm never doing that again.
That's a good question. You know, for the most part, it's the same thing. Is I don't do anything the same again.
Right.
You know, because if it's not gonna bring me something different, I'm not gonna just repair the same thing. So I'm trying to think of a project that I'm really not. It's hard. I mean, I stayed away from the pale gray for a while because I wasn't sure about that gene. I stayed away from the lavender albino gene because, you know, the lavenders are mostly like yellow looking. They don't get the red as adults do. So I kind of stayed, you know, most people stayed away from the lavender because of that reason. But like, it's like we're at a point now where there's not a whole lot of genes like there are in ball pythons. So you want to work with everything possible and see what you can do. You know, and now that we got other genes, like you got the raw iron gene now. So now you can mix that into like lavenders and pale grays and see what that does, you know. So a lot more different druid as well, a lot more different options now.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot more in the mix now, which
there's a lot more now.
Which is going to lead to more results that are going to be crazy and are going to lead to even more crazy. It's just so this is like the ball's already rolling, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Can you get that pale gray to look red somehow?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't know. You never know because, like I said, there's some things with Bloods are one of those crazy animals where, like, I remember when they first produced the first T+ albino batiks, and them things looked like they were terrible. You know what I'm saying? They were like a light pink coloration as adults, or like even more like off orange type color. They didn't really look crazy. But then the following year, it was like someone hits them, and then from there on, you start seeing them. Now they're like super extreme red animals. So it's one of those things where, like, every generation, you know, the morphs are getting better looking, not just the combos and stuff you're hitting, but the gene itself.
Which is expected with captive breeding, right? Like that's kind of, you know, if we look at all the animals that came in off the boat, you know, decades later, way different looking animal now, right? Like the quality is next level.
Yeah. And then, you know, Bloods have that factor where they're naturally meant to gain more coloration or get darker as they age. So, you know, someone could just have the right normal animal in their collection that's just a really nice animal, nice bloodline, and you put that to a morph and it just enhances that mutation.
Back when you got in, you know, 2012 or whatever, you know, were they feeding things right back then, or was that something you guys figured out later on?
What you mean?
Like, just like, you know, obviously there's ways you could make these things go obese, and I'm sure there's ways where you're not feeding them enough. Like a blood python's body structure is unique. Like it's not like other species, and you know how long it takes for them to shit. Like they're just a different animal. And I'm curious, like, did you know all the right husbandry stuff from the get-go, or did you learn a lot about them as you were keeping them and like finding out like, oh shit, no, we're not keeping them like this?
No, I learned a lot by keeping them. Like it was a lot harder back then to get a lot of info too, you know.
Right, because I mean, social media wasn't anything like there is today. And yeah, back then, you know, there's just not ways to fucking talk to people as easy as you can now. So firsthand is what you're saying. You learned a lot about husbandry basically just by keeping them.
By keeping them, and then I got in cool with a few of the breeders, like Keith McPete was one.
Legend.
Matt Turner, Matt Minatola. So I was able to get experience from them and then join, they had a forum back there, Curtis Forum.
Yeah.
I joined that. Some breeders were going there with info. So it was just keeping up with everything possible, but it was definitely a learning experience keeping them. But I remember the first one I had gotten a Malaysian red as a baby, and I got that thing on like XL rats in just a year.
Damn.
Yeah, that I was definitely way overfeeding him. And he grew like crazy, but he was definitely obese.
After a year, after a year getting your baby in, I sent you a picture. You're like, "Hey, yo, give that thing a medium rat." I'm like, "You're tripping." You're like, "Bro, all this thing's siblings are on medium rats." And the thing was, I was feeding it like my ball pythons. I looked at it thinking like it doesn't need a bigger meal, but holy shit, like once I gave it bigger meals, the body just took off after that, and it was
and that's when once it takes on, you just got to pay attention to them. As long as you watch them, you notice. You know what I'm saying? You start to see that spine kind of like. You don't really see that spine showing much. You're like, you know what? Let me cut you back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But you're seeing, no two animals are the same. So you got a few animals from the same clutch, and you just notice some are growing faster than others too. So that's where you kind of just want to pay attention, But literally within the first 2 years or so, you could really feed them pretty heavy. So that's where they do a lot of growth.
The primary diet the whole time for you, for the most part, with bloods is rats. You don't do mice, right?
I'll start them on mice as babies.
Okay. But then the goal is to get them on rats as soon as possible?
Yeah.
And when are you finding that usually the mark? Like when are you noticing them bumping up to rats?
I'll probably switch. If it's going to be my own holdbacks, I'll probably switch them to rats after like the first 5 meals.
Right. Just like a good starting tool, right? With the hoppers, I'm sure, or what, small mice? Or
they're taking like sub-adult mice as babies.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. And as babies, are they still not shitting as often, or do they shit more often as babies?
Oh, they shit more often. They're definitely more messy as babies.
But that adult stage is when it chills out for a while.
Yeah, as adults, you're maybe looking at like on average 3 to 5 times a year them going to the bathroom.
They ain't no joke though. They're the size of my forearm, bro. Holy God. Yeah. I seen some shit that like literally looked like an infant. I couldn't believe it. The kind of turds that I would see. And yeah, it was like once every 2-3 months. It was not a lot. But you feed your adults once a month, you said, correct?
Yeah, just about.
And until it's time to breed, and then it's the more frequent stage for that.
Yeah, even through our breeding, they're fed the same. Like I said, because I'm breeding now, October. So by January is really when I'll start to increase the feeding.
Okay. So you have stuff paired up before you increase any kind of feeding.
Yeah, I have them. I want to see multiple locks for like the next several months or so.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, but they're also being fed during this time. So they're being
fed, but it's still the same. It's the light routine,
So you're seeing all these locks go down, and then once January hits, you hit them with more meals. And do the locks stop, or do the locks continue?
By then, most stop. They could some of them still be going, depending. But by then a lot of them I think kind of stop.
So this is what I observed, dude, because I've had a big year with the chondros this year. I had 6 clutches, right? And I noticed with like what the males were doing was like as I was feeding them, the males were locking them, right? Mm-hmm. And they get to that ballistic mode where they just want to eat. Like they'll take 2 or 3. Like they're acting extra hungry, right? But during that extra hungry stage, you see the male being less interested. And then it gets to the point where the female refuses and the male just doesn't want nothing to do with her, period. And then next thing you know, they ovulate. Mm-hmm. So that's everything you just said as far as like you want to see locks before you increase that kind of meal period. Pretty similar from what I realized what was working with the chondros.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, and again, I think Keith said it on an episode because we all know, like, man, Keith has definitely been successful with his emeralds and other species of boas by knowing how to fucking feed them at the right time.
Yeah.
And me, dude, and I'm sure you'll probably agree to this, but yeah, I know temps could be a factor, but nothing's going to be a factor more than food. I think the food is the biggest indicator to get these females to be like, I need to get this shit going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think so. I mean, I don't touch my temps.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I know they feel it. You could tell they feel like what's going on outside. You like when a real nice cold front comes through or a storm, because you'll see the males become more active, or more breeding going on throughout that time. But like, I'm not changing. I'm not lowering no temps. None of that. I don't do no light cycles. None of that. So
yeah, like I said, the only thing you're really adjusting is the food.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and with the locks, everything happening, naturally the females are triggered to know, like, it's go time. I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow. And overall, do you feel like with the amount of pairings you're doing, you're getting successful results? Like most of the stuff you're pairing goes, or do you have females that take a break, or don't always go year after year? What has been your experience?
Yeah, like 95+% of my females that I breed are gonna go for the most part. But like I said, I don't breed. It's rare that now I'll breed a girl 2 years in a row. So I usually have like females backed up, ready for the next season. By then, or some adults that are becoming adults for that following season. So I don't really, if I have to not breed a girl a second year in a row, I won't.
You obviously keep the bloods with other species in the same room, right? So they're kept in a cooler part of the room, or in a rack where there's not heat, or can we kind of talk about the preferred temps you like to keep the bloods and how you keep them?
Yeah, so I just run ambient 81, no hot spot until it's a gravid female.
Wow. Okay. And what do you bump that heat to?
88.
And that's constant, 24/7.
What? When she's gravid?
Yeah, when she's gravid, like once she ovulates.
Yeah, once I get my last clutch, I turn off the heat again.
Right. But that spike in the heat when she is gravid is something that is available until she lays the clutch, right? Like,
they need it for sure, because they'll cruise around a lot more if you don't supply it.
Right.
And they'll take longer to lay.
Yeah, because I mean, if that heat's on to their liking, they're not moving. They're right there getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so even with your babies, like, so once your babies come out the eggs, you individually put them away. They're ambient, or do they have supplemental heat? Like, do you increase their heat as babies, or no?
No, just ambient.
Wow.
So my males never see a hot spot. The females will only see the hot spot when they're a gravid adult.
You ever get any kind of like prolapses or anything from babies? You ever deal with any?
I think I've gotten 1 or 2 prolapses in the entire time of doing this, something like that.
Super uncommon.
Yeah, it's really uncommon.
Yeah, but it's good to know that it's happened. Like, it's like, it's not like a freak thing with one species. I think any species is capable of prolapsing, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but it's just not definitely a common thing you see from what you're doing.
No.
Is a common thing from what you're noticing, Elijah, with new keepers, is having struggle getting them to eat when they first get them? Like, I know I've selling chondros. There's been some people where I'm sending them a fucking rock solid snake. They put the snake away, and sometimes they immediately go to feed them. I tell them just to chill, but like they don't get results right off the bat. I eventually walk them through it. But do you find like that being a thing with new blood keepers as well, where they're like, they sometimes is a learning curve getting them to eat, and you have to.
No. It happens, but it's really not common.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, a lot of the babies are going to be that I'm letting go. They're pretty well established. You'd have to do, something pretty outrageous to like get them like to that point of stress where they don't want to eat.
Would you ever, like, let's just say like fucking you had the pad or whatever, you had the time first and foremost, but would you ever want a decked out bioactive big ass enclosure with blood pythons in it or anything like that in it, or no?
For bloods? I'm not sure. I don't think you would really see them much, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, because they burrow, they hide, right?
They burrow, yeah. They like to burrow, they like to hide. And if they find a spot that like you set it up right and they're super comfortable, you might not see that thing for months.
So the reason why I break this up, shout out to Adam. You know Adam, I'm pretty sure you just did a podcast with him. You guys,
Yeah.
It's my homie, but he's all like, I love. He reminds me of myself because he finds out about a species and he gets all fucking excited, and then he like wants to keep it. And I'm noticing like, dude, that's exactly how I was. And so he wants to get either a blood or a short tail and like put it in a decked out fucking bioactive enclosure. I'm like, bro, you ain't never gonna see that thing. I was like, and then he's like, have you seen Reptilandia? And he did have a point because Reptilandia, it's not that big. It's kind of it's like more of a Exoterra enclosure. You seen it? The one at Reptilandia where they
got blood in it?
Yeah, and it laid a maternal clutch.
Oh, okay. I think I might have seen that. I think I seen the maternal thing. Yeah.
And he was like, well, like he's like, it's out back. I'm like, but because it's out basking. I'm like, they have a lamp, and of course that snake's gonna be right there because it wants the heat. But I was like, hey, I'm not saying you can't pull it off, but if you are considering putting such a species in a bioactive, and if it's set up right, you're not gonna see that fucking snake. It's gonna be hiding.
Yeah, you probably see the head. If it could get if you put the right substrate, which is a substrate that it's going to allow to burrow,
yeah,
you'll probably just see the head.
You had where you still have the monkey tail skinks. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
You produced them not like 2 years ago or something.
Oh, they breed. Shit, they're at the level now where the female is dropping a baby like every other year.
Dang.
Yeah, so she produced those twins a couple years back, and then what year was it? This year, last year? Trying to think. She produced another baby, so then I had to rehome one of the twins because he turned out to be a male. Because it's crazy because like they were good, right? The twins were good with the parents, right? And I guess mom went on to have another baby, a third baby, and after the baby, for like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that, the baby's on its own, whatever, it's fine. I guess dad and mom was ready again. And I realized this is the male won't breed with her with another male in there.
Right.
So he went after one of the twins, which is I'm pretty sure turned out to be a male. Yeah. So as soon as I got him out of there, they bred that same night, and now mom is gravid again.
So you're initially just trying to cohabitate all of them. You're like, nah, you guys could all chill and be a family together, or
yeah, he's allowing one twin in there and the baby she had months ago. So I'm pretty sure the twin that's in there is a female because it was crazy. I'm watching him breed with the mother and chase her around the bottom of the cage, and the twin daughter comes in and she starts doing weird activity like she wants to get it. You know what I'm saying? And he's not showing her no interest because she's still much smaller, I guess, or immature versus the mother size. But you could tell that their behavior is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different type of reptile behavior. And that was the same thing when I raised them up originally. When I originally had them, I think I had a group of 4. I had a group of 4, and then this male, he actually had to attack and chase out the other 2 when they all matured. And then once I got rid of those other 2 as males, he bred that female and she went on to drop the twins. So I know now she's grabbed. She's big as shit right now. And when she lays this baby, after a couple months of this baby, I'll know if the third baby she just had, the baby she just had after the twins, is a male or female. Because I'm pretty sure if it's a male, he's gonna do the same thing. The father's gonna attack him, try to get him out. But if he's not, he'll stay, and then I'll have at least 3 females, 1 male, and then a new baby in there.
Dude, you can't say like knowing this knowledge with this species doesn't make everything we're doing more exciting. Like this is some geeking shit. Like we're geeking out over this shit. You know what I mean?
Nah, yo, dude, I'm telling you, I've never seen reptiles like them.
That's so cool.
Like even when they had the twins, right? The twins were crazy because I remember one time I took the twins out. So it was funny I had this box in there. It was what you call a humidity box with moss in it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they would hide. The parents would keep the twins in there a lot. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you would see activity with the mom. She would come out and bask. Mom would come out and bask, right? She'd come out, bask, eat, let the twins out to eat, and then they would hide. So the father, while mom is out basking and doing her thing, the father would be at the hole of the hide, right? Sticking his head out, waiting. So when mom went back into the hide, he would be allowed to come out. So there's one day I fucked up. I took out the hide. I took out the twins. I put the hide back in there.
Yeah.
As soon as I did that, mom went into the hide to look for the babies. Babies weren't there, so she starts trying to kill the father.
Damn.
Yeah, she was pissed. Like, I guess it was like, to her, he didn't do his job. So she did that. She started chasing him around the cage. She grabbed him on the foot and started doing like a death row. So I had to get him out, and luckily I got out just in time because his toes, he had like one toe that was like, halfway about to come off. So I got him out. I put him back into the hide with the twins, and I put the hide back in there, and they were good. But basically, like, if he's not doing his job, she's gonna go after him. You know what I'm saying?
She's on that ass.
No, she's on it. It's insane. So they really protective over the baby for those first, I think, 4 to 6 months or so too. And so the babies are basically out on their own, and then from there it's different, But yeah, it's like it's a different type of behavior,
Yeah, look at this. I don't know if you can see this, Elijah. We're checking out this video, but man, they look like they could fuck some shit up, bro. Like they look like they could really like do some damage if they latch onto your finger.
Yeah, well, I got a buddy, Al Brown. And he said he got bit by an adult once. He said it was the worst bite he ever took. And this dude was like over 6 foot, like 400 something pounds. And he said his fingernail fell off.
Oh my gosh! And so right here, it looks like there's a baby you guys are pulling out. And so
those are the twins.
Wow! And they were in there protecting them, or what?
Yeah, they were in there protecting them. I had to take the parents out first.
Oh my god!
So anytime we took that out to look at the babies, we had to always make sure dad was placed in there with them first. Before putting mom back in or whatnot, or both parents were at least in there.
That's fucking cool, man. That's really cool. All right, we're gonna wrap things up here, man. Is there anything you want to talk about, Elijah? I want to make sure there's nothing we missed. Anything that you have to either announce or anything on your mind, bro? Open mic, man. Anything you want to talk about?
Usually the same stuff. Not much. We pretty much talked about it all. We had Tinley and stuff like that,
Yeah, so I was going to say, obviously, again, this is the week of Tinley. I'm going to be flying in Thursday. Definitely going to be coming by your booth. I got to say,
when you're showing up.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there. Oh, I think I told you I wasn't going to go, right? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so due to some business that needs to go down during that week, I was allowed to get the pass to fly to Tinley. So I'm there, bro. I'll be there this weekend. So
all right, cool.
Yeah, I'll come by, say hi to you, and I definitely recommend people going by Juggernaut Reptiles at Tinley. I do have one last question for you before we let you go, Elijah. And I'm curious, man, obviously I was talking about how, with the change with life in general, I don't want to just say the market, man, life is changing for everybody. But if there's someone out there who's curious, like what's a species worth like working with that I haven't worked with, what would you say that what's a species somebody should consider looking into working with, like that they maybe just don't know about yet? Like something that you would recommend someone get into?
That's kind of hard to tell. Like everyone's gonna have their specific likes on like, on the type of species they kind of gravitate towards.
Right.
But it's kind of tough. Like, like for me, like if you really like ball pythons and because of the mutations and stuff, or you gravitate towards like thicker built snakes, bloods and short tails generally are real good ones, but like if you're someone more into like arboreal stuff like carpets and green trees, then I would tell you, Zanzanias or something to look forward to, stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to say.
Yeah, because it's kind of asking someone what's your favorite ice cream. Like it's like that's fucking such a personal thing. Like you got to figure out what that answer is by going out and finding what's out there. And I feel like the longer you're a part of this hobby, the more you start to see what else is out there. I think it comes with time, right?
Yeah, I mean, time, some experience, headaches. You got to kind of just run through a lot of different animals to find out what you like. Like I got my buddy, the one I told you, the Devil's Den dude.
Yeah. Mike, right? His name's
Mike. Yeah, so you got to get him on because that dude, he's an older dude and he's from the bully world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, he's only been doing this for like a few years now, and he jumped into like everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking like multiple species of everything you could think of. And now he's finding, like, same with us. You get into a bunch and you start to like dwindle it down. Okay, which ones you like because of how they move and act, you know, whether it's arboreal or terrestrial, whatever, or aquatic, stuff like that, you know, that's what it is. So
yeah. Sometimes you just got to dive in to figure out what it is that you want to fucking keep.
yeah, you have to. I told him this. I told him like he should, you know, take it back a little bit. And he's like, "Fuck that," you know. He went in. This man went crazy. So like, he's big into like the retics and stuff like that now. So, you know,
Some people personalities, man. You just God bless
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I was one of those for sure. I mean, you know,
Do
I've
the
been
same with me. When I first started, I had dozens of species before, like, and I still got too many species. So,
yeah. Elijah, where can people follow you? Why don't you drop all your plugs before we let you go tonight?
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Same thing on all three as Juggernaut Reptiles.
My man, I appreciate you so much. You can find all the links to Elijah's social media plugs in the description below. And again, do not skip this man's table at Tinley if you're going through, but give it up. It's a wrap for Elijah Armas, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it, Elijah. I'll see you this weekend, all right?
All right, later.
All right, peace. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded every podcast released out of the network. Just remind you guys, every day of the week, there's a new episode being dropped out of the Trap Talk Reptile Network Monday through Sunday. Remind you guys, you can listen to all these episodes 24 hours after they're finished streaming on all audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all the major audio platforms. So just make sure wherever you listen to any of these episodes, you make sure you subscribe, rate and review, and drop it, comment in the comment section. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all you guys this weekend at Tinley Park. So please, again, let me know if you're rolling up. Say hi. Cannot wait. It's going to be quite the time. But that's all we have here for episode 691. Elijah Armas, the Blood Python King episode in the books. Have a good night, and I'm out. Cheers.